Yeah, what up? It's your boy Za back at you. Anyways, I'm just gonna get into something real quick. A lot of people been asking me about this particular video. I had talked about it before, but never really put it out there as far as like on the internet. It's just me and a few other people I know having conversations when it came to more of the political side of things. But this particular incident, I wanted you to trip out on just due to the fact that a lot of people don't believe that this is happening, that it could happen. It's a bill that came out, I think it's called HR.6666, four sixes. And this is just a piece of exactly what they can do. I'm gonna go ahead and roll this video, and then after that, I'm gonna talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you another video that really lays out exactly what it consists of. But basically, a few, I won't say foreign powers, but a few different people have their hand in this. But yeah, we'll just get to it. Did you hear what he said? This particular form gave him the right to take you to the hospital. I'm telling you, that's why a lot of people that are infected or have come across people that may have been infected with coronavirus refuse to go to the hospital. And I'm going to be honest why. Because if you go to the hospital with coronavirus and you're just that sick, you're pretty much the only way you're ever going to get at your family is through FaceTime. And if you're too sick to do FaceTime, they may be able to look up on you through the phone if somebody wants to volunteer. But other than that, you're basically going to die alone. And that's not fear mongering. That's just plain and simple fact. But let's just finish this video.
Unfortunately, I don't have that. We don't have that discretion.
My bad.
It's a form for the Ministry of Health that's been backed by a provincial judge. Okay.
But you notice he said the Ministry of Health. I don't know if you guys have really been paying attention to the news, but the Ministry of Health, the main guy basically was trying to implement a plan that could basically snatch any individual out of house if they may have came across it. If you go, like you're in a particular house and say your household only consists of 5 people but only have one bathroom. By law, they're saying that if there's only one bathroom, then 9 out of 10, all 5 of you came in contact. Not to mention maybe you quarantine yourself and then, you know what I mean, other people go to maybe a friend's house to use the bathroom. I mean, some people don't find it practical, but it does happen. Well, they're saying basically that if you don't have more than one bathroom and there's somebody with coronavirus in your house, then they relocate all of you. And like I said, a lot of you are going to end up in places that you don't want to be. But don't listen to me. Just listen to what he's saying.
That's neither here nor there if you care or not. This is my authorities and this is what I have to do. So I beg of you to come cooperatively.
Forcefully to take us to hospital.
Well, I don't want to do it forcefully. That's why I'm hoping that you'll assist me. So what this is saying, yes, you're right. This is forcing us to make you go to the hospital. That's right. That's what these are.
Listen, guys, I understand that you don't want to go. Okay, I completely respect that.
Let me just stop right there. I swear to God, that guy that they just showed looked like an actor, but don't take it from me. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, but I'm going to start it right back up with the next post. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, look at this is what it is. It's the HR.6666 Tracer Act. If you don't believe that this bill is actually on its way to either already being passed or it's already been passed, but just pay close attention to what this particular guy said. Like I said, and this mic is not my podcast mic. I've already fixed everything. I'm just setting things up. But this one, a lot of people said they couldn't hear me, and I don't want to use my other camera all the time. So hopefully this mic, you can hear me clearly. But just listen to what this particular act is. Like I said, my new podcast will be about everything. It's just Za versus everybody. So if I, want to talk about it, it's going down. Conspiracy, everything. But let's go.
You guys got to let everybody know this message that I'm about to give you, because this is something that I just found out. It's beyond belief. This is regarding a House resolution that was initiated on May 1st of this year, like 4, 5, 6 days. Well, I don't even know what day it is right now, but it was May 1st introduced into the U.S. Congress. It's a House Resolution 6666. That is not an exaggeration. I have
Look, if a lot of people are probably going to look at this and be like, Zod is chasing conspiracy. But this is actual fact right here. If I don't know if people are really paying attention, don't think that the coronavirus is fake. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you that for a fact. There's a lot of people, that nurses that are good people that work in particular areas and can tell you exactly that it is what they say it is. But it's just a simple fact of what they're trying to accomplish. A lot of this had to do with people in power, and I'm not talking about the government as far as like the president and whatever, because if you really pay attention to your politics, you'll understand that Trump is not in cahoots with none of them. Him and Bill Gates don't see eye to eye, and Fauci, I have nothing bad to say about it, but Fauci and Bill Gates are basically like really good friends. Like, you really gotta, if you're really gonna get into, you gotta really like trace everything, do your research, and really like trip out on this stuff. But like I said, let's just go back into it.
I have no idea how this works, but this is what the actual House resolution number is: 6666. And I'm going to read you what that House resolution is. Please make sure that you pass this on to every single person that you know. I don't care whether you're in the United States or not, you got to get this information out. House Rule 66, or House Resolution 6666, is for COVID-19 testing, reaching, and contacting everyone Act. The acronym is TRACE Act. Again, TRACE Act stands for Testing, Reaching, and Contacting Everyone. It was introduced by Bobby Rush, who is a Democrat from the state of Illinois. And they have introduced this bill into the House, and they're going to roll this out from a testing standpoint in Ventura County, California, which happens to be where I'm at right now. And I couldn't believe that I heard this, but basically this act is to allow individuals to come into your house, and if you've got a cough, or somebody in your family has a cough, or you have a fever, or anything that they determine that shows that you have COVID-19, regardless of if you've been tested or not. They will also test people, but remember that testing already has been shown to be there to be a high rate of false positives. False positives meaning you don't have COVID-19, but the test shows it's false positive. It's showing up as positive, so they call it a false positive.
You see, and just to interject for just a second, a lot of people have false positives. In fact, if you remember, I don't know if you do remember, but they had something on the news not that long ago where a guy that had AIDS took the test and was found to be negative, and it had something to do with the disease and the medication, I guess, that he was taking. So it continuously showed that he was negative, but in fact he was positive for COVID-19. These tests are not really to be believed. They may work in certain instances, like, on certain people, and everybody's makeup is a lot different, but some of this is not gonna work. But you see, it's like now, it's like, don't get me wrong, you should always protect yourself. You should always look at things in a serious light, and not take things as lightly as some people are taking them, because those are the people really are the one that's gonna die. But you also got to take it with a slight grain of salt and not be so serious about it. Like, I won't even go up in the store with my mask on if I feel my allergies are going to start acting up, because I swear to God, if you sneeze one time in the store right now, you might get assaulted. They will get you up out of there so fast. And not just the people that own the business particular, you got patrons that, the patrons will actually try to physically throw you out. It's been proven. And this is the type of stuff that you up against. The new America is going to be a lot different. And people that continuously throw, they blame everything. It's on the president. It's on if you just learn the divide between not these particular parties, because Democrats and Republicans will always be at odds, just because they have two different way of seeing things. But look at who just made the bill. He said a Democrat made this bill. I'm just saying, like, for people that tend to want to go far left, think about it. You know what I mean? Think about it.
Positive. We already know from the studies previously done as far back as 1984, but as recently as 2018, that individuals that did not have COVID-19 or coronavirus. Even in the cat model, cats that had never been exposed to coronavirus tested positive if they had had a flu shot, if they had the trivalent or the covalent flu shot. And we don't know about the H1N1 shot. We don't know about the herpes zoster shot, the shingle shot. There's many other vaccines that people have gotten. We have no idea if people are going to be testing positive, have false positives based upon those tests. So the point is that the chance of them testing someone and them being high, them being positive, is pretty doggone high, even if the person doesn't have COVID-19. But they're going to use that to pull you or your loved ones, especially your children, away under pretense of public safety. They're going to say that your child has to be removed from you because you have COVID-19, and so to protect your child, we're going to take that child. Or we're going to take your grandmother or your father or you and put you into quarantine. This is a load of rubbish, because if you're in your home, isolated, who are you going to expose? All right? And if they're going to try to take you away from your family, they're using this as an attempt to further divide us as individuals. They divided us from our friends, from our social circles. Now they're dividing us from our own family units. This is the most ominous sign so far that we have seen. I want you to all wake up. I want you to pass this information on. I want you to tell every single person that you know what's happening. If you're not in the United States, I don't care. It's coming to your country as well. And if you're in the United States, you need to contact your representatives. Right now, if you go to askdrbuttar.com/ask, right underneath my image, you'll see that link. Go to that website, follow the information that it's asking, enter that information in, and then you're going to be taken to a page. The first one is a petition. It's a petition about censorship against media that mainstream media has right now, as well as social platforms. Sign that petition. Second thing is a website, or is a link that'll take you to allow you to send any letter that you want to people to elected officials on the municipal level, on the state level, and on the federal level, and tell them that you violently oppose HR.6666. Every single person needs to do that right now. You don't have to even know your House members or your representatives or your governor or your mayor. You don't have to have any information. That link that we have, all you do is type in your name, your email address, and then click on your zip code, and it will automatically find your elected officials, and with one letter you'll get it to every single person. It's actually going to work for Australia, and it's also going to work, I think Australia, UK, and Canada, I think it's coming down the pipeline. Right now it may only be working for the US, but our plan is within the next couple of days it will work for elected officials in Australia, in Canada, in the UK, and in the US. But right now it's in the US. So write down that you oppose HR.6666, the Trace Act, the testing, I'm still flustered right now, I can't even think, was it testing, reaching, and contacting everyone act. I want to now read you a quote from a Supreme Court justice.
Let me just interject once again. Look at this is the thing about this particular act. See, it's comprised of like two major, as far as like Google and Apple. Apple wants you to. They say it's going to be a voluntary act. Basically, an app. You can put the app on your phone, and basically it's like if I have the same app on my phone and say like somebody within close proximity or within that area contracts COVID-19, everybody that pinged in that particular area is now I would say under investigation, or basically you'll have people knocking on your door to see if you're all right or if you may have contracted COVID-19. But it's one of those things like you already can't really go anywhere in the United States without having everything on you. There's always eyes on you. That's why, like when individuals, they run off at the mouth and they say particular things, at the end of the day, you really can do nothing to them or even attempt to do anything because you're always watched. You can't do nothing on the internet without somebody knowing what you done said, what you done did. That's why you notice on Facebook when you say certain things, then all of a sudden all these ads come up, or maybe you stared at a picture for too long. Now this particular person is in your recommendations. It's just so many things that people fail to pay attention to. Everybody's so on race and all this other stuff, man. You need to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the 1% don't want you to get to a certain point, and they're going to do whatever they do to keep you boxed in like cattle. This is a prime example. Why would you want to, you know what I mean, put an app up that can trace every movement? Google already does that, but this one is I feel is a lot more aggressive, because it's like if somebody did have COVID-19 at a restaurant and you were like maybe 4 restaurants over, now you're under investigation because somebody in that restaurant had it, and it wasn't even the restaurant you're in. You're 4 restaurants down. It's like that. You're in close proximity to that. They say how much, you know, how many feet you can be in order to, you know, if somebody sneezed on you or whatever. But I mean, the way these people make it, if you even were across the street and somebody across the street had it, now, you know. But the crazy thing is that if you listen to what he's saying, these people will remove you from your house. They will separate family from family in order to do whatever they need to do. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You see right now, Bill Gates don't want nobody to come off this quarantine, because he wants everybody to be basically chipped. So he knows exactly, like, it's just so many things. But yeah, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna let you go back to it. You know, these are things I'm gonna talk about on Za versus everybody. It's no whole bars. It's no trying to be nice with nothing. It's just like, if you're messing up, I'm gonna address it. Plain and simple.
And remember this. James Agler Fee said, the privilege against self-incrimination, which is basically to ensure your freedom, and we're talking about the exact same thing here, to ensure your freedom, is neither according to the passive resistant nor the person who is ignorant of his rights, nor to one indifferent thereto. It is a fighting clause. Its benefits can be retained only by sustained combat. It cannot be retained by attorney or solicitor. It is valid only when insisted upon by a belligerent claimant in person, the one who is persuaded by honeyed words or moral suasion to testify or produce, rather than to make a last-ditch stand to ensure their own freedom, simply loses the protection. He must refuse to answer or produce, and against all odds. Now, it goes on. You guys can look up the quote yourself. Judge James Agler Fee, a Supreme Court Justice. I want you to remember that this is how it all begins. Do not sit still. Let everyone in your social network know. Pass this on, pay it forward, because tomorrow it could be your family, in your county, in your state, this is going to happen. If you're in Ventura County, California right now, you need to do something today, because if you don't, tomorrow it's going to be your child or your parent or your spouse that's going to be removed. It's going to be your brother or your sister. So you need to do something right now. I will be back this coming Monday, like I'm every Monday evening, New York time, 8:15 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. 8:15 p.m. New York time, to do my regular live broadcast. So guys, join me, and I'll see you then. It is time to wake up. It certainly is. Do what needs to be done.
And on that note, I'm going to end it with that. I'm just going to let you know there's other parts of that bill that have a greater implication. Like, I mean, they're not implication, but there's something that a lot more detrimental, because now they're basically doing what prison has been doing for some odd years with the inmate task force. Basically, for the people that have never been incarcerated, inmate task force is the ones basically getting paid by the prison in order to tell. You never know who they are. They're just people that are there with you, and they're just basically like snitches, you know, but they're getting paid to snitch. They call them inmate task force, and that's an actual fact. For people that might want to dispute that, that's an actual fact, you know what I mean? But the thing that you don't understand is because there's a provision on there that basically talks about the people that will basically be paid to tell. They're basically informants on the street. They're the ones that's going to be paying attention to everything. If they see something that may be a little bit off, they implore them to tell. I remember I was watching, not Mayor Gavin Newsom, but it was another one, the mayor of not the governor, but the Mayor Garcetti. When COVID-19 really started hitting, like a point, they were shutting businesses down, and he was telling people exactly what they need to do. There was people coming on there, one guy in particular talking about do we have the right to tell on somebody if they're not complying with certain rules? And he said, and I quote, that no, if to be a nice person, basically tell them, like, if you can educate them on the proper way of doing things as far as like being open, like their businesses. But if we don't want no tattletales. But if it comes down to it, yeah, basically contact the authorities if it just get that serious, if they're putting people's life at risk. So this is the type of stuff you're up against. So it's not like you're just dealing with your cell phone pinging off other ones. Google, they've been doing that. You know what I mean? But this is a lot worse. Now you actually have an app on your phone that will actually ping you no matter where you're at. And if somebody, like I said, within close proximity that they believe could have passed it to you, they will be at your door. They're already doing it. So this particular act, you got to understand, for the people that may have forgot their politics, you got legislation, you got this, you got that. I can go into it. There is another video like this, but the guy goes a lot more deep and he breaks it down to the very last detail. But the video is probably like 12, 13 minutes long. If you want to hear that, man, let me know. But like I said, I'm not no conspiracy theorist. I love conspiracies, but I just like to point out plain and simple fact. This is what's coming. And if people and individuals don't wake up, once it's here, you have nothing to do with it because you're not going to go against anything. That's why they have the National Guard. I don't know if you watch, there's a show on Netflix right now called Containment. Understand that if it comes down to it, that will happen to you, and there's nothing you can do about it because, to be honest, half of you not to shot at the Democrats, but a lot of you liberals don't like guns. So obviously you're not doing anything to protect yourself. You're not picking up weapons to train in order something like that. But so you're going to be ill prepared. So basically what I'm saying is just prepare for everything and hope for the best. On that note, your boy Zod, and like I said, man, if you like this video, man, run these numbers up and get this particular message out there. And like I said, go check your house bills. If you don't see it on there, you can't find it, then you can come back and be like, you know what, I don't like what you put out there. You didn't put out the actual fact. And then, whatever, I'm going to do what I want. But at the end of the day, yeah. So I'm your boy Zod. You enjoy the rest of your day. To all the camaradas, you know what I mean? Keep them eyes open and stay woke. And I'm out.